Coding is recoding. Happy New Year, it's 2026. Hear me out, I'm trying something new. First of all, if you don't know anything about this channel, here's our whole mission. Tech today, I believe, is opaque, centralized, and not in our direct control. And I think that it's getting worse over time. That's why I'm building the PageKey unit, which is a small, local, understandable cloud alternative. The goal is to make technology understandable and controllable, something that you can dive into even without going to school for 4 years to get a degree in X, Y, and Z. Just regular people can do it. I'm going to make a weekly blog and video series to share ideas, progress, and next steps. So why even bother with any of this? I believe strongly that education is key, that if people understand the technology that they use every day, it gives them control over it and leads to ultimately them having more self-reliance over their lives, and they can direct it to good things. Tech companies are consolidating power into few hands. They have very fancy things that they distribute to the masses to use, but the people using them have no control over how it works or anything about it. It's all protected for intellectual property purposes, which is totally understandable. But I think that we can take an 80% solution of some of these things and deliver tons and tons of value to regular people without having to rely on big tech companies. So my formula here that I believe to be true is knowledge plus freedom plus good character will lead to prosperity for individuals. And if many individuals do that, for society as a whole. So my main goal with these every week is consistency, not perfection. And hey, I might miss a week here and there. I'm not going to sweat it. If I miss a week, I'm just going to pick up and start again, because I know that if I really sweat the wording and if I re-record what I'm recording right now, this slide 3 or 4 times, and I'm just worried about being perfect, I'm never going to keep this up. So, just saying, I'm going to try to write something every week and then make this quick video of slides of me rambling, and maybe it's not too cool. And, you probably clicked off by now because I'm literally just rambling about nothing. Too bad. Next week, I'll do a little bit better. And that's it. So thanks for coming for the journey. Here's my goal. Every week, I'm going to do something useful. I'm going to start with something actually applicable to people other than myself. Standalone helpful concepts or lessons. Then I'll talk about what I worked on, 3 to 5 bullets of weekly progress on this project. What's next, 1 to 2 concrete next steps. And then I'm just going to leave the 4th section. Whatever I want to do, I'm just going to slap it in there. Random thoughts, questions, reflections, anything can go in the 4th section, and it's totally open for weekly canvas. Here's something useful that I learned this week that I wanted to share. Coding is recoding. What do I mean by this? Well, I had the wrong mental model for what I'm trying to build, and so my code was wrong. And I was having trouble scaling it. It just wasn't working how I wanted to. And the only way that I was able to arrive at what I believe now to be the right mental model and the right code was by rewriting it over and over, starting completely from scratch, not iterating on an existing code base, but starting from an empty directory, opening it in VS Code, creating some new files, or starting a fresh conversation with ChatGPT or Claude, talking to it and just going with it, right? That led me to understanding there's so much value in throwing away and restarting. People are worried about wasting effort, and that used to really pain me, to throw something away. You forgot to save your file, it got corrupted, whatever, and you have to rewrite an essay. But the truth is, the essay that you rewrite the second time is probably so much better than the first one, because you've thought through things one time, and then you can think them through again. But you've already formed the neural pathways, and it's just so much better the second time because you can really flesh out in even finer detail the second time. So I'm trying to build a minimal universal runtime. And I rewrote it like 5 times, Python and Go, and then again in Python, and then again in Go. And I'm finally getting close to the solution. But it led to clarity by throwing away and restarting. Iterative doing is certainly better than just thinking alone, sitting down and trying to write your entire life's work on a sheet of paper. It doesn't work that way. You have to do stuff, think about it, and then do more stuff. So that's my big takeaway. It applies. People say writing is like rewriting. Not like. Writing is rewriting. That applies to coding too. Coding is recoding. Don't be afraid to start over. That's my lesson for the week. Another mini lesson that I learned is playing with Claude and ChatGPT. I use a lot of the web UI, but recently I started using Rue and VS Code, and I hooked it up to the Claude backend, which you have to pay for. But you can see it rack up costs as you go. So it tells you, that costs 6 cents, that costs 6 cents. And I started trying to code these ideas that I had up using LLMs. So they really accelerate that rewriting process that I was talking about, but they do have limits. My takeaway was keep tasks, whether it's a conversation in the web UI or a task in Rue in VS Code, keep it short and focused, because otherwise it will drift and your cost will spike. When I was doing this in VS Code, I rewrote everything. I had it refactor my entire application that I'd written so far, and it was awesome. But towards the end, I started hitting these rate limits, and I saw that the context window had ballooned up to like 80,000 tokens, or actually it was like 150,000 tokens out of 2,000 possible tokens. So it was saying you cannot be doing this much, literally rate limited by Claude. And also the cost was going up so much more. Like instead of going up like 6 cents at a time, 10 cents, it was going up like 50. And, I was really racking up. I mean, like I was used to most tasks costing less than 50 cents, yet towards the end it was going up towards like $5. It ended up being a $5 task, but like the latter questions were just so much more costly because the context window ballooned, and Claude, I think, was not efficient at keeping it small. So similar to coding is recoding, reset early and often when using LLMs, at least in their current state in 2026, week 1 here, and you might have better results, and it will cost you less if you're using something that costs something, but still applicable to the web UI. This week I prototyped the unit CLI program, which was written in Go, and thanks to all of that LLM refactoring I did, I learned about the hexagonal architecture, which includes things like, ports and infrastructure and services. I don't know. It seemed pretty cool, but good to get some exposure to that. I never would have without the LLM just deciding to do it that way. So that was cool. I refactored the prototype. I think it cost me under $10, but ultimately I'm going to discard it. I think it was totally worth it. I learned a lot. Fixed some internal Mattermost certificates. So we have a very baby version of an intranet for PageKey stood up using Mattermost with a select number of collaborators, and it's completely off the open internet, which is cool. It's totally self-hosted. There were certificate errors. I was too lazy to fix them, but finally I went and requested the Let's Encrypt certs and used the DNS challenge because it's an intranet, so you can't use the HTTP challenge. And now we can access it on our mobile phones, which is cool. And then I drafted a YAML format for the object-based runtime. This was my big breakthrough, is that I think we need to be object-based, not process-based, which is what I was trying to do before. My big aim before week 2, what's next? I want to implement an MVP of an object-oriented universal minimal runtime. So here are the files that we have. My goal is to implement a program that can run the stuff described in these files. So we have contracts, we have objects, and then we have like actual scripts. The contract is like an abstract interface in a programming language. It tells you, to be an animal, you must be able to do this. So in this case, to be an animal, you must be able to speak. And it tells you the inputs and the outputs clearly. So I think if we, got really clear about our inputs and outputs, it would make things a lot better. This is basically re-implementing object-oriented programming, but outside of a programming language. It's like one level up of abstraction, I think. So it's using shell scripts, but it could also use, Python scripts, whatever. The implementation doesn't matter too much. So we have contracts, we have objects. The cat is a concrete implementation of an animal. I think that this implements piece could be implicit. Eventually you could, add these to your global state and, it'll just know that you have animal installed basically. And then when it sees cat, it can check the inputs and outputs of cat. And if it matches, then it says, yes, it does implement it. Either way, it defines a shell executor for this and it calls cat.bash and it just echoes meow. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. We'll see. Okay, now for my freeform ramble. I've done much rambling up to this point. Tech and AI future. A lot of people are getting nervous about LLMs and AI and how it all works, and I think it's very applicable to the problem that I'm trying to solve to give people more autonomy over technology. If you go to ai2027.com and read that whole page, it's very interesting. It's a very pessimistic view of what could happen, and I think the authors wrote it to be a warning sign, a red flag for us in terms of where we're going. And in some ways, I agree. I think that it could totally happen, right? It basically describes AI agents outpacing human intelligence, controlling all of our systems, and, robots building other robots, computer programs writing themselves to improve based on human input, but, less and less over time until it's so much more quote unquote intelligent than we are that it just decides that, might as well get us out of the way because what's the point in having humans around? They're just so slow and old and antiquated. Basically the whole Skynet Terminator scenario, but like it really plays it out for real, which is scary because it's mapped onto our current world in 2026 and it's just, it's scary stuff. I want to propose at the end of the article, they say, hey, anybody have any more optimistic ways to think about the future? My optimistic alternative, while I acknowledge this could totally happen, I think that the future, based on decentralization and education, where people are empowered to edit their own technology and all that stuff, the veil is removed of corporate, intellectual property protection, all that stuff. I think it's a much brighter future. So if we give people tech they fully understand, modify and control, I think we'll be a lot happier. I wrote more about this in the blog post that's attached to this video, so you can go check that out. Anyway, it ties directly into the PageKey unit that I'm trying to build, which is a compact cloud computing alternative, resilient, personal, customizable. If you turn off the switch, if the power goes out, you still have your unit, fire up a solar cell, fire up a battery, turn that on, and you still have technology. You still have a lot of the things that we rely on the cloud for. So no man is an island, but it would be nice if individuals could be islands if they choose to be. If there's an off switch, we lost off switches in like the 2010s or something like that. Where did they go? Let's bring them back. That's my ramble. All right, thanks for hanging on to the end. Hopefully these get more concise with time. Certainly not the most concise video I've made. Excited to share the first look at the PageKey unit soon. I've done lots of testing with hardware. I've done lots of iterations of software and all sorts of things. So hopefully converging on a solution. Lots of unrelated things starting to come together, and I'm very excited about it. If this sounds interesting to you, if you're pumped too, if you're excited, would love to collaborate with you first of all. But if you just want to stay updated, you can do that on YouTube, where I'll post these videos, or the mailing list. I'll try to send that out. I might put it on Substack too. I don't know. We'll see. But YouTube, you got it here. Mailing list, PageKey.io/unit. You can sign up there, and I'll shoot you an email when I publish these. And looking forward to you following along. Thanks a bunch, and see ya.